I'm Genesis, and this is my 5 to 9. I think being a woman in the industry is hard. I think it is a job not for anyone who is weak minded or anyone that doesn't know exactly why they are doing what they are doing. And for me, it has been important to me to make sure that I know why I'm doing it and that I stand by that in everything that I do. And that is 100% authentically me. So for me, it's like I am a woman, and sometimes when I walk in the room and I have something to say about something, people might look at it as, okay, she's nagging, or, she's being negative, or she's being, a bitch. And that just comes with the territory. All right, let's go from the top. I don't know if my fans feel like they know me well enough yet, and I want to make it clear on what I want them to view me as. So I want them to be like, okay, Jen is like this, and but I don't want to seem so bossy or like be trying.
I feel like that's who you naturally are. So I feel like
Show that.
I mean people that know you don't take offense to it. I don't. It's not offensive to me.
Yeah.
Because you like what you like and you want stuff done a certain way. So that's why you have certain people in certain positions because they'll deliver. So
Yeah.
I feel like you should show them that part of you because I mean don't hold anything back because then you wouldn't be genuine. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Because for me, I get to control my image. I get to control my music. I get to control like where I'm going and how I want to be perceived by people. And that's most important to me. And I think it's very important that young girls have somebody to look up to, that they aren't saying, this person is just so into just only sex. Like, I think it's become a thing where people really feel like women are only good for the sexual exploitation when it comes to the music industry. And don't get me wrong, I think, my stuff is pretty sexy too, but it's just a lot more that comes with the package. I don't want to be skimpy right off the bat. I'm not trying to be out here, unless it's for something completely creative in a video or something like that, being out here like just everything out.
Yeah.
A, because I'm just not like that. B, I have to also take into account, if I'm being realistic, I don't have any cosmetic things done to my body. So think about this. People that are getting that's a certain type of look. That's a stylistic look right now in today's society.
Oh, like
the
big
fake
and the fake
boobs
and all that.
or like the fake butts and stuff. And I'm not falling into that category, so I'm not trying to be in that category because I'm not trying to do those things.
Right.
So I don't want to be in a category with somebody where that's what they do. That's their style because they got the big boobs and that are fake and and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just that's the 2019 style for that. Yeah. That's not me. People would really enjoy seeing a more full package as far as it comes to music and branding and being a woman in the industry and owning that and not letting anybody say to you you can't and that you should be more skimpy or something like that. It's like, I'm good. I'm good where I am. I'm good how I am. And I'm being honest to who I am. And that's all that matters to me.
I know a lot of times in this industry, like it's a thin line between a woman being a boss and being perceived as a bitch. You know what I mean? Because it's like the same way a Diddy or a Dame Dash or a Birdman can bark on somebody and that just be like, yo, he getting his job done. If a female do it, it can be perceived like she kind of pushy. You know what I mean? But I think Jen does a great job of like just finding that balance. You know what I'm saying? Like knowing when she may have came off a little too strong and knowing when to pull back, and then knowing when I got to get my point across and I'm gonna go. Because I think that's still important with any female entrepreneur, especially in the music industry where it's a male-dominated genre. Like, you got to know how to really roll up your sleeves and play with the boys sometimes. And I think it comes from her having all brothers. Like she got like 4 or 5 brothers or something. You know what I mean? So I think just growing up, she's naturally like learned how to deal with men and just, feed the ego, maybe knowing to pull back when somebody has too much ego. So I think she'll be all right.
So, collaboration to me is key. And I think it's collaborating with people that are like minded as far as in the creativity. And I'm a very different person. Like, I like to work in the morning at the studio instead of always at night. Like, I'll do some nights, but I like to be up early, starting my day and really getting to it. And so I needed people that understood that and that were willing to do that and that just didn't look at me as just another, you know, 808 in a loop and wanted to really build something and grow. And that's where Black and 3D became the perfect duo like ever for me.
Scotty, where the reverb sound off, turn my auto tune down to about 10, you know what I'm saying? Put the 1.9 filter on there and I'm good. No, you good. Because he know the change, he recorded. You know what I mean?
One thing I can say is they listened to me. They never made me feel like my ideas weren't important or that they were less than theirs. They always tried it. They always, if it didn't work, it just didn't work and we moved on to something else. But I think that's the most beautiful part. And they appreciate it. But I do like to work hard. I do like to work until I feel like it's perfect. I don't want to just quit if you can just put something on it to make it sound okay. Like, I want it to be the best possible product ever. And they understood that. They take the same amount of pride in their work. And that's what made it such a match made in heaven.
I really like the fact that Jen is a very strong woman. You know what I'm saying? She knows what she wants. She already has a lot of ideas going. And I think our job was to really take somebody who just has a billion ideas and kind of help her tone it down and you know what I'm saying? Dumb it down and really get those ideas into a small box to where it's okay, Jen, we know you want to do this, this, and this, but let's take these 10 and kind of build off this. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's been dope just to kind of see her, like I said earlier, trust in us with her ideas and just kind of give us free reign to do what we do. Because that's always important. If I go to a barbershop, I can't be looking in the mirror while my man cut my head the whole time. At some point, you got to establish trust. Okay, I'm going to just let you do your thing. And I think, we only been working, like I said, for about 6 months. And it's amazing to see how much trust and how far this relationship has already went so far. So I'm just excited to see where things go.
When it comes to writers, it was difficult for me to make a decision to say, okay, I'm going to wholeheartedly be okay with bringing in writers. Because for a long time as a child, I wrote. And then for a moment, I kind of got stifled in my writing. And that was a part of me not really being honest with who I was at the time and with where I was at the time as far as emotionally. And so I needed people to kind of bring that out of me. Like, the studio was a therapy session. Like, we're all in there talking about, it wasn't just me. It's we're all talking about things that we don't understand about from other people or from situations. And we're bringing that into this collaborative circle. And we're just dialoguing about it. And that's when it came down to, okay, we've created a vibe here. Who else can we bring on to create the vibe? It just so turned out that Scotty was a friend of Black and 3D. And he was at the studio. He let me listen to some records one time. We met in passing. And I said, yo, I really, really like him. Okay, well, let's see how it works. Let's try it. And the first song that we did together was Love Matrix, which ended up being the title track.
I feel like we should mention, because, your project is called Love Matrix. I feel like we should mention that in here. We can make a story about, everybody knows about the Matrix.
Right.
However you relate to it, it's on you. But, to me, it's about, you're going under something and then you're going to a whole nother world. To me in life, it's the opposite. When I wake up, I go into another world. When you sleep, you regular. You know what I'm saying? So it's I think we could take a love story like that.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
No, I agree.
In the red pill, blue pill.
Being inside the Matrix?
Yes.
Okay.
So
trying to find love inside the Matrix. That would be dope.
Oh, okay, wait. Well, wait, one more time. It might have went over my head.
Okay, basically the Matrix to me is a world. A whole different world, right?
Yeah.
Boom. So you're trying to find love in a whole different world. But remember, in the Matrix, they can only get to that world if they went in that machine.
Right.
And they plug in.
You know what? So we in tune because
that would be a good video concept.
That would be great.
That would be crazy.
You really kill a nigga with that. That's
Let me
over
tell
with.
you though, like why I really like that, and it's mainly because so today I was like writing down some ideas, like just some words and stuff like that that I think would be cool. And you know, I really kind of came to the realization that, like, but something I'm happy about. I really don't feel all the time like super comfortable with people from my generation. Like I feel like niggas be worried about completely different stuff than what I be worried about. So I feel like it'd be hard for me to even like find somebody that I really vibe with, cause I mean, just niggas just be on a different type of time than what I'm on. Like how people like talking about energy and like being spiritual. I'm like, yeah, where you at right now? I was at when I was 5, but I was privy to that because of that's. I'm being serious. No, because my dad is.
Scotty, your pen is cool, nigga. I was there when I was 10.
No. I'm
I
saying
love your
like.
ideas, Scotty, but
No. I'm talking about
Sounds
like
like my first
how
beat
when people be saying stuff about like they spiritual journey, I don't be knocking it, but I just be like, huh? So you never knew that? It's because my dad has like 5 theology degrees from Morehouse. That's like what I grew up around. So that's like that was my environment. You know what I'm saying? So I think that would be something really really cool to bring to this like. No. I had to wake up in other ways. That wasn't my challenge. You know, everybody has their challenge. That wasn't mine. So I think that would be really cool to put in like the form of a love, because I don't feel like I be like if you just imagine, picture it. This is gonna be real wild and off the wall, but picture it. Like you in a different type of world, like you in La La Land, whatever that looks like for you. And it's like all these people, and I just be feeling like people be kind of like clones, like they just all feel like life's supposed to be one way, you know? And they just be like walking and like marching in one direction. It's like I just feel like I be sometimes going
Like the University of Phoenix commercials.
Yeah, that's literally that was so perfect. The University of Phoenix commercials. I feel like that's my real life, especially when it comes to love. So he listened to the project of what we had so far, and he assessed what he felt he could bring, and it just was the rest was history. And Scotty is one of the only people that came in, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna sit here and let you do whatever you want to do, and you know, you just let me know when it's time, you know. And that was very big for me to just completely let up off the wheel and just say to somebody, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm thinking. You think you can help me put it into a song, and then really leading the process of how it sounds, and like us just taking my feedback and like really leading us into what the record was going to become. And I felt like that was just a magical experience for me because I don't like to do that often, but I mean, it just worked out to like be so perfect.
How many times I'ma bring this up? Don't wanna talk, but you beat it up. Stuck in the world got me thinking, but I am not stupid, I know what's up. We are right where we need to be.
Can I hear that melody?
that one on stage.
Yep. Yep.
Joy Leah was honestly, I didn't even know I was going to pick Joy up, right? So I text Joy and I said, you know, hey, I'm going to the studio tonight. You want to come? She was like, yeah, sure. I said, okay, well, where you live? I'm going to come get you. I thought she was another Joy that I met at some mixer, right? And I get there and it's Joy who I did all of these like shows with, where we just do like all these cover shows and things like that at these bars and clubs and, you know, just little places around Atlanta. And she gets in the car and I'm just like, Joy! I thought I was texting somebody else. But so Joy comes in and I mean, it was just, the rest is her story, you know, like, cause her pen game, her melodies, everything she came up with it was just like she would go, we would talk about things, you know, I would try to start a melody, she'd come in, try to finish it off, and we were just like, you know, going at it every time. And I feel like that was the most beautiful thing, was to feel like I had somebody that understood what I was trying to say and worked with me in what I was trying to say and made a song like that much more phenomenal. And for to her credit, like just her melodies of what I'm trying to say and get out of my head, she's just so perfect at understanding it and just putting it into something that is modern and creative and very, very much so catchy. And it worked. It just worked.
The thing about it is, yo, wanna is, this,
Time per day, I need to stay.
Let's see what you came up with, brother. My nigga 3 over here sweating bullets.
Oh, what's
they
up,
gonna
though,
like
you
it?
know? I just dropped some sauce in the pot, you know? I'm
Are
an
they
artist, so
gonna-
I'm sensitive about my shit. Gotta make sure it's
Are they
right.
gonna like the 808s I put in there?
You did? Threw my bow in that
Oh,
bitch.
stop it, don't do
Yo.
it.
Adobo, you
He
did?
put his adobo in the
Little
sauce, y'all.
adobo in the pot.
You know what I'm
You gotta
saying?
make E flat.
And I made sure that we used the right spoon, you know what I'm saying, in the right pot, because, you know, it's the difference between cooking with a kettle, the black kettle,
Right.
and then
Oh, my
those copper
flat.
pots and shit, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Something that
You got
retains
G-sharp
heat. So
instead
when you
of
put it in the
F-sharp,
oven,
yeah.
bake that bitch, right?
Bacon.
Woo.
So we've been
That
baking.
oven shit. We don't do microwave shit
So,
over here.
What
Like,
we
you see,
do- what we
disregard
do-
it, disregard it. But we do
okay.
oven shit over here, bro.
Not that.
We do
but-
oven. We do oven shit.
And we
over
ain't
here,
talking
bro.
easy bake
F-sharp.
either, nigga.
Bitch, we talk about homemade from scratch, nigga. I'm making the motherfucking noodles.
Let
Do you
'em
hear what
know.
I'm saying,
Let
my
'em-
nigga?
What you be doing with the noodles?
Nigga, I be
Yeah, you
making
right,
my
you
own
right.
motherfucking noodles.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
You
That
be
flour,
scratching-
that,
you scratching
that,
the
ooh,
flour.
I had
get on
the
that,
E-
get
I
on
had
that
the
Q,
E flat
what
and
was that
the E
nigga name?
spot, right?
Q,
It
what is
wasn't
that?
flat.
QT
Yeah, you gotta
Tran?
be natural.
YouTube.
Bet.
Stiffware,
Be
bitch.
flat, bro.
Stuff
Stiffware.
Major, we in C minor.
Yo, I almost fucking fell out of this chair, bro.
Wait. What was the verdict? What was
What's up?
3D in the right key on his
Yo.
808?
I was for majority of the 808.
And that was a fail.
You did. A couple of the notes was out, but it's all good.
Hey,
But you know what? You
What's
learning
up,
this
bro?
theory though.
You know what?
That was a great try.
That
There you
F
go.
sharp over that G sharp, that's the most beautiful chord in the damn
F sharp
world.
over G sharp.
Yeah, so the F sharp major chord over a G sharp bass note is like, that shit sounds beautiful. I wish I could play it for you right now.
Look at them. They have a bromance. It's like,
It's
hey,
my
man,
guy, bro.
even though you messed one little thing up, I want you to know what you did right there.
Players
The
fuck
beautiful
up
thing
sometimes.
I
Like,
ever
you
heard in my
got
life.
damn,
Damn,
bro.
Jim.
I put the E
Damn.
natural where it was supposed to be E flat. Niggas won't get off my sack. God
Bro,
damn, Jim.
Let me tell you something. At least you out here learning the damn music theory. When I tell you he started talking gibberish, I did this, huh?
I'm like, sir, can I just
I
hear
feel
the
like
sounds? Because all
confidence,
these
you
letters
feel
are getting on my
I was like, I
nerves.
just be singing.
Bright as flashlight.
You know,
Yeah,
that
it's
right
It's
Already
always
got his
light
head up in this
skinned
motherfucker.
people.
Remember we had your class playing somebody parent would have that big ass camera to go on their shoulder with the fat ass light. Like, goddamn,
That's some
mom.
90s shit, bro.
You can't even see. You can't see the fucking song up here, mom.
Joy was just, I mean, she came in and it was the ballads. Like, I'm a ballad person naturally. And for her to come in and make a ballad feel modern and make it feel relevant in 2020, it was just beautiful.
Guess it makes two of us. Can't know what we gonna do. Tell me what we gonna do about this. No, it ain't perfect, but what would I do without this? Trying to turn the hands of time back where we used to be. But I know that can't be you and me. You and me is waiting for no is a waste. When all I want is your
Genesiz has a very unique voice. She has a really rich alto voice. And, you know, no offense to any sopranos, but alto voices are my favorite voices because it reminds me like of Anita Baker, Toni Braxton, like those singers that can really reach those low notes. But she can also sing a really high, like she has a really high range, so she's got a pretty wide register. And I think and her music doesn't sound like Toni Braxton's, but for her to have that tone, that rich alto tone, and be able to actually get on a modern beat or a modern record and really put her feelings in that, I think she gets this nice blend of the two. Nice blend of the soul, nice blend of the urban. She can say some cool stuff, sing it really well, you know, and then at the same time she could do a really slow record, like, you know, real slow, like a R&B record, and really sing, you know, with the best of them. And I also like that she don't always feel the need to out sing. You know, it's like when you get to a certain level of talent, you don't feel the need to overcompensate for it all the time. And I think those are some of the things that really make her unique. And that's, you know, that's why we wanted to work with her, because I've never heard, you know, anybody that sounds like her. And I think the Creative Villains will really give her a musical edge, just because we have so much versatility.
When I say that I'm here, what you hear is the opposite. But when I say I don't care, you see clear, internalize it. I was lost in my thoughts. What I said was irrational, but I feel by now you should know who I really am. Sorry